Okay, so I'm going to talk about today why 90%, why I believe 90% of the population why actually 90% of the population deserves to suffer and deserves to be poor. Very simply, it's because 90% of the population, mostly 80 to 90% of the population, never really learns from their mistakes. You know, they keep on doing the same mistakes, again and again and again, and they never learn. All they do is complain. So the question comes up: why do they do these mistakes? Like, why does someone repeat over and over again the same mistakes? Well, um, quite frankly, I think it's because the first step to overcome your mistake is to stop blaming others. And another word for that is to stop complaining. Complaining is what? Complaining is basically blaming other people. So to the first step to learn from your mistakes is to stop complaining, to stop blaming others, and to see what you have done wrong, what you did wrong. You know, if you take problems people have in problems people have in this world, where 90%, 80% of the people divorce in some countries, don't find the right relationships, or why 80 to 90% of the people stay poor and do not overcome their class. Of course, there's socio-economic factors, there's corruption and all other problems, but majorly, a lot, you as a person can change yourself, you can do a lot. And I believe 80 to 90% of the population, they just are so full of themselves that they can't learn, that they can't criticize themselves. You know, because the first step to actually achieve something is to blame yourself, to criticize yourself, to realize that you have done a mistake. It's the most important thing to realize in this world, because if you ask someone who broke up, why did you break up? They'll always go, oh, he didn't treat me well, he didn't treat me well, he didn't treat me well, she didn't treat me well, it didn't treat, what the fuck, or whatever it is. It's always blaming others. Now suppose, for example, let's take an example, okay? Suppose, yes, you are a good person, with a good heart, with a decent character, discipline on whatever all the good qualities a man should have, a woman should have, and you meet a person who doesn't have it. You meet a person who doesn't have it. Well, wasn't it your fault that you met this person? Because if you are disciplined and if you have all the good characters, then you should also be able to judge that if a person is the right person or not. Shouldn't you? Shouldn't you? Because most of the times people always say, they didn't treat me well, she didn't treat me well. It's because you never actually looked if that person treats you well. You were looking at another quality of the person. 9 times out of 10, it's always beauty, it's always looks, it's always something sexual appeal, sexual attraction. It's rarely about the character. And that's why you'll always see in these relationships, when you ask, oh, why did you break up? It's never about, oh, it was bad sex. It's never about bad sex. It's always about bad character. Of course, because you were trying to find someone based on sex. You were trying to find someone based on beauty. And in that, they will not fail. They will not fail in that, because yes, you chose a good decision upon these characters, upon these categories, upon these subjects. But if you try to find out someone because of good character, you won't complain. So it is your fault at the end of the day. It's always your fault at the end of the day. Now suppose you are not a good person, then you know what the problem is. Suppose you didn't treat your X wonderfully. You had a bad character. You had too much temperament. You didn't have any patience. You didn't listen to them. You didn't treat them well. You didn't show signs and symbols and actions of affection or care. Then it's your fault. So in either ways, it's your fault. There's two scenarios. One scenario is you chose wrong because you deliberately chose wrong on the wrong traits. You were looking for something sexual or you were looking for something beauty, and in that they excelled. In that they were perfect. But they weren't perfect in the qualities you weren't looking. That is the character. That is the first thing. So either ways, in the first case, it's your fault. In the second case, it's your fault because you're doing the mistakes and you're not doing it. You're not changing. You're not changing. So who's to blame? It's you to blame. So shut up and learn. Shut up and learn. And that's about relationships. Now, what about money? What about money? I don't think I have to explain. But finding true love and becoming a millionaire are equally difficult. They are equally difficult. Becoming a millionaire requires a lot of discipline. You want to know how hard it is to become a millionaire? I'll give you a good example. Why don't you try to do a discipline for 3 weeks and you'll see how hard it is actually to do it. Maybe start reading the Bible for 15 minutes daily. It's easy maybe the first 4 or 5 days. After the second week it gets really, really hard. After the first week it gets hard. Take another discipline. Exercise every day. Do push-ups every day. Do something that should be a discipline of you every day. Discipline is hard. Now a millionaire probably does it for years. Now that means if you are reading every night the Bible, that means before you go to the club or after you go to the club when you're drunk and everything, you have to read the Bible. Will you? I think most of the people won't. Before you go to the club, after you go to the club, you have to do push-ups. Will you? I don't think most people will do. And by push-ups, I don't mean 10 push-ups. It should be something that requires at least 15 minutes of your day. So if it's 15 minutes reading, do 15 minutes reading. If it's 15 minutes push-ups, do 15 minutes push-ups. If it's 15 minutes running, do 15 minutes running. And do it every single day. Then you will see how hard it is to become a millionaire. But it'll also teach you how, and it'll also show you that you can take disciplines, that you can take traits and characters. And if you can do this 15 minutes thing, then you can do greater things. You can maybe study for 2 hours daily. You can learn something for 3-4 hours. A skill you can improve. And with that skill, you will be so skilled you can be a millionaire. You know? And I'm not saying this is easy. It is very hard. It is very hard. Everything is discipline. Love is discipline. Relationship is discipline. Being a millionaire is discipline. Job is discipline. You know? But yes, that's the reason why 80 to 90% suffer. It's because they just can't learn. And they just don't want to learn. Because learning means criticizing yourself. Learning means insulting yourself. Learning means hurting yourself. Learning means blaming yourself. Learning means accepting that you did wrong. And this comes to the next topic I'll talk about: why Catholicism. I don't know much about other religions, but why Catholicism helps a lot in being a disciplined person. Yeah, I think that's what I want to say. I don't think I should elaborate on this, but I thought about this because one of my friends were telling me, oh, I'm always meeting the wrong women. I'm always meeting the wrong women. I loved her, but she was treating me bad. I loved her, but she was treating me bad. That's another topic I'll talk about, but for this I'm closed. I'm done.